This is Diana Sullivan in Austin, Texas, doing some beginning knitting machine lessons. In this next lesson I wanted to talk about I-cord. I-cord is short for idiot cord because this is something very, very easy to do. Maybe when you were a child you did some cord using a spool with some nails in the top. This is very similar. We do this on our machines. Virtually every knitting machine will do this. The setting on machines to do this is set it to flip to one side. On the Brother machine it is part button that you put in, and maybe set it a little tighter than you normally would for the yarn that you're using. For idiot cord, for I-cord, you're going to cast on 3 stitches, or 4 or 5. I think I'll do a 4-stitch I-cord. I'm going to go ahead and cast on, and actually I think I will cast on every other needle. I showed that a little bit earlier. So I'm going to hang on 2 needles. I'm going to use a clothespin to weight the end, and I'm going to use a claw weight instead of any kind of comb, and then I'm going to bring out the other 2 needles in between. When I knit to the right, the machine is going to knit. When I push to the left, the machine is going to slip. So it knitted this row. See it over to the right? It knitted across. Now when I go to the left, it's going to slip. See, it didn't knit at all, it just brought the yarn across. To do I-cord, you just go back and forth, many, many, many times. Now the cord that's forming is completely round. This cord is not just curled up knitting, it is completely round. When you rotate it, it looks the same all the way around. These cords can be made in a variety of sizes, and they're great for things like the belt on a robe. They could be used for button loops and trims. And when I was thinking about this lesson, I thought, oh, this lesson is just a little bit too simple. So rather than just do I-cord, I'll do something that I like to do with I-cord that I haven't really seen other people do very much. I like to put I-cord around the edge of knitting. So here's a little sample of knitting, and I'm just going to start here, and I'm just going to pick up 1 stitch. It's 1 loop on the edge. You know, on the very edge of knitting there's a loop and then a knot and a loop and a knot and a loop and a knot. For this I pick up the loop. Two back and forth trips is 1 row or round of I-cord, and each time I go back and forth I pick up another loop. I have put this around necklines, sleeves, all kinds of uses. Not that one. This is the next one. When I get to the corner, I'm going to go 4 instead of 2. I'm feeling like this needs a little more weight. So I'm going to put a claw weight on it. I'm going to let it hang in front to make it as visible as possible. Now, when I get to the part that has loops instead of the side, I just pick up every loop. I'm going to unravel the waist yarn later. Sometimes, when people get their first knitting machine, they feel as though they really can't afford a ribber, so they just have a main bed, and then they might get discouraged. They may start feeling like there's not that much they could do and trim beautifully because they don't have a ribber. But there are all kinds of things that you can do with just a main bed, and here's an example. I do plan to do some ribber lessons, and I'll be starting them soon, but I have some more main bed tricks first. You could change this. You might pick up 2 loops and knit 2 rows, or you might knit several rows on the I-cord to get a loop or a bump. I've seen really fancy trims where people braided the I-cord, or they did multiple passes to make, maybe make knots in the I-cord, make sort of an I-cord fringe affair. This will just spark your imagination, and you'll think of some other things that you might be able to do with it. At this point, I'm just going to knit a few rows. I'm going to take it off. Now, the way that I like to take off I-cord is with a tapestry needle, because I just gather it up into a little tube. I thread the tapestry needle. I bring the stitches out to E position, and I just run the tapestry needle through all 4 of them in this case. Remember, it could be 3, 4, or 5 stitches, and I just give it a tug. I would, of course, hide the ends. I have done this with a neckline before, and then I've used the I-cord for ties. I've also used it to trim a keyhole neckline. Okay, I'm going to unravel the scrap yarn so that you can see the effect that this had. Give this a little tug on the corner. See what a nice trim that makes? So that's I-cord, also known as idiot cord.